To the recommendations from Dr. Russell and her team at Public Health. People should stay home whenever possible. I can't stress that enough, and Dr. Russell has stressed it over and over again. Les gens devraient rester à la maison.
People should stay home whenever possible.
So what does that mean? That means don't go joyriding in full cars. That means don't find reasons to get together in the den and watch a movie with all your friends. It means do it separately with your family members whenever possible, but don't get all together. It means no play dates, no sleepovers. You know, this is, as I said yesterday, this is short-term pain for long-term gain. This is not an exercise. This is not a hypothetical drill. This is reality like we have never seen before, and we must react. It's good to get outside and to get fresh air, but avoid groups when you do so. And if you need to go somewhere, such as a grocery store or pharmacy, keep 6 feet away from others. And if you see an old friend, the best way you can ensure they stay a friend is to wave and not go up and shake hands. It is only by taking these measures and taking this serious situation very seriously that we will be able to flatten the curve and reduce the impact of this virus. C'est seulement en adoptant
It's only by taking these measures and taking the situation seriously that we will be able to flatten the curve and reduce the impact of this virus.
No choice but to be out. These are the people who are providing essential services. They include those on the front lines, doctors, nurses, and support staff. But they also include the truck drivers who are making sure goods get to our stores, the staff working in those stores and keeping the shelves stocked, and the people working behind the scenes every day to enable us to continue to get these important updates to you. We need to do what we can to help these workers stay healthy and safe, and that means staying at home as much as possible. Nous devons faire ce que nous pouvons pour aider.
We need to do what we can to help those workers stay healthy and safe, and that means staying at home as much as possible.
Many of you have questions about daycare services and payments. To be clear, parents will not be charged while daycares are closed. Essential service workers will continue to pay the regular rate for the daycare services they are using. We are asking daycare operators not to increase their usual rates at this time. And today, the federal government announced relief for small businesses, and we are working to determine how this applies to daycares. But we are committed to closing the gaps. Though many businesses have temporarily shut down to encourage people to stay at home, our grocery stores and pharmacies remain open, and our supply chain remains strong. That will not change.
Though many businesses have temporarily shut down to encourage people to stay at home, our grocery stores and pharmacies remain open, and our supply chain remains strong. And this will not change.
Is not necessary. All it does is cause more work for those working in grocery stores and pharmacies, and anxiety in those who are shopping before employees have had a chance to restock the shelves. For New Brunswickers who are fearing potential food insecurity, let me reassure you, the Department of Social Development is in constant contact with food banks, soup kitchens, and other agencies such as Meals on Wheels and similar organizations to ensure the continued provision of services. We have offered to provide financial and human resource assistance to any of those agencies who encounter difficulties during this period. Nous avons ouvert.
We have offered to provide financial and human resource assistance to any of those agencies who encounter difficulties during this period.
If some of the business closures lead to an influx of additional clients, we can help with financial support over and above what already is provided to assist in order to ensure we meet any increased demand. We are aware New Brunswickers who have been struggling with chronic homelessness are vulnerable to a virus such as COVID-19. The Department of Social Development is working closely with our homeless shelters to encourage best practices in preventing the onset and spread of the virus. There are contingency plans in place in the event a homeless shelter client becomes ill with COVID-19. Most shelters are operating at or near capacity, but we are finalizing plans to provide temporary separate accommodations in the event a shelter client were to fall ill. La plupart des refuges.
Most shelters are operating at or near capacity, but we are finalizing plans to provide temporary separate accommodations in the event a shelter client were to fall ill.
We know it isn't just our most vulnerable who are concerned about COVID-19, as this virus has the potential to impact more than just our health. We are working at a provincial and national level to help those who need help, as are many businesses and institutions. Nous travaillons au niveau.
We are working at a provincial and national level to help those who need help, as are many businesses and institutions.
Financial institutions announced yesterday that they will provide relief to Canadians impacted by the economic consequences of COVID-19. They have committed to working with personal and small businesses and small business banking customers on a case-by-case basis to provide flexible solutions to help them manage through challenges such as pay disruption due to COVID-19, childcare disruption due to school closures, or those facing illnesses from COVID-19. As I mentioned yesterday, I called on the federal government to act with urgency to assist small businesses and individuals who need help. I am glad to see that they are taking the necessary steps to do so. Today, the Prime Minister announced a new set of economic measures to help stabilize the economy during this challenging period. These measures will provide up to $27 million in direct support to Canadian workers and businesses. As this was just announced, we will need to determine the role New Brunswick will play in this. Once we have more information, we will share that with you. But what we know is that you can access the Government Canada website directly and apply for and receive funding without delay. I am pleased that Canada and the United States have agreed to collaborate on mutual restricting discretionary travel across the border. I was also relieved to hear during a call with Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland and all the premiers that this will not impact essential travel and trade, including trucking. Specifically, we were given assurances that they will find a way to minimize the impacts on the residents of Campbell Island. New Brunswickers care about their families, their friends, and their communities. I know you want to do what is best for the health and safety of others, and we must all consider that with any decisions we're making now and in the immediate future. The best thing we can do right now is to stay at home, be safe, and be healthy. Les gens de New Brunswick, c'est
I know that you care about your families, your friends, and your communities. I know you want to do what is best for the health and safety of others. And the best thing you can do right now is to stay home.
Situation, we're not so serious. We have seen what happens in other communities, other countries, where social distancing measures were not taken, or were not taken until it was too late. We must ask that you listen to this advice now to protect the health of all New Brunswickers, especially our more vulnerable citizens. If people do not act as advised, we may need to take additional measures to ensure that everyone follows the recommendations from public health. Si les gens de respect passent.
If people do not act as advised, we may need to take additional measures to ensure that everyone follows the recommendations from public health.
We aren't there yet, but as a province and as a country, we will do what is necessary to keep residents safe. I'm asking that each one of you think about the role you play. We've asked this over and over again through these transmissions and these daily updates, but it is extremely important that this situation is not underestimated. The health and safety of you, your friends, your relatives, your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors depends on your direct action to help ensure that this disease does not spread widely through our community. Thank you. Merci.